So I'm filming for that for like the past year, and then I moved to Colorado. I was living out there, and I was filming a lot out there, and then I got hurt out there while I was filming for it, so that put me out for like 6 months. So that's why it's taking me a little bit longer to get the section done. But now, I mean, you saw it yesterday.
Yeah.
You know it's almost done. So.
Oh, you saw it? You got a little sneak peek?
Really sick.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I was thinking about premiering it here, but after talking to you, I'm thinking I might not do that.
Damn.
Because kind of keeping it like on the low until I release it.
It's really good. I
can imagine.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you skating in a while, but like
Yeah,
the way
it's been a
you
minute,
skate, like I can't picture you skating any other way. Because some people, you know, like people skating changed in the past 10-15 years, but like.
I try to
Are you
keep
still
it.
throwing
I
out
try to
hammers and
keep,
stuff, or what?
Yeah,
Okay.
He's totally still
See,
tough
that's,
guy.
I'm hyped on that shit.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I can, dude. I mean, I'm 32, so like,
Yeah, it's harder now.
it's still a little bit harder
Doesn't
to go out,
seem like
even
there's
to
an
go out
issue.
and film and like. Well, yeah, I mean, it's like I still feel good on the skates, but it's like getting like like when we had people filming us and editing stuff for us. Like now it's like me going out and getting someone to come film me. Like, so it's a lot more harder of a process to put out a part now than it was. You know, when we had people wanting like, yo, we're flying you here to do a part.
Yeah.
Like, it was just easier that way. Now it's like me doing everything, like driving, picking up the homies, like
finding the time,
showing
after
someone
work,
how to film, like, and like a lot of the people that, I mean, a lot of the dudes know how to film, but then sometimes we'll be with dudes that don't really film that much. So I'm like trying to show them how I want it done, and like, so it's a process, dude.
I didn't realize you were such like a director.
I mean, I'd rather not be, but like, you know.
Were you ever like that, or that's just new because you have no one else to film with? Were you ever particular about the way your clips are filmed and stuff?
Well, I was like more particular about who I would film with, I think.
That makes sense.
Like, I wouldn't want to like, I mean, I had certain people like Johnny Boy, X-Rated, like, and then a lot of the times it was like with Shima and those dudes, like with Jan. So there was like probably like 3 or 4 people that I would film with most of my stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you go back like all the way with like all those like Jan and San Diego guys,
dude,
like
at
Elliot,
the very beginning,
the Nim
like,
guys.
Yeah,
from like the beginning of
Nim,
right?
from the beginning of Nim, pretty much. Like I was at a hoedown, which is crazy to think about. That was like so long ago, but I was skating for Remedies.
Oh yeah.
And John was just about to start Nim, Elliot, and he hit me up and he's like, "Yo, dude, we want to send you some skates." And that's when I was still like, I was like 18, dude, still coming up. Like no one even probably knew who I was that much, but John noticed me. And then I started putting out parts even before I got that skate, and like started doing like my radius part. And then
God, radius. Too.
Yeah, my radius part, and then I did like Thrill, and those sections kind of like got me noticed a little bit more. And then like started it with Nim, and then it was like from 19 on with them.
Dude, the original
to
like,
SSM
Nim team was.
Who was on the original Nim team?
sick.
You were part of the original?
It was me. Like the main dudes in the original it was me, John, and Montre.
Yeah. Okay.
We're like the 3 dudes, and then obviously Bill came in, and then Dave and Maddie, and like we had a solid.
I can't remember when it was like SSM.
Yeah, we came when it was SSM. Yeah, not Nim, but yeah. But so like that was the original dudes, and then it kind of, obviously the falling out happened between Shima and John, and like people went their separate ways, and we were like kids in a divorce, dude. Like when we were going through that, so it was weird. And like John was cool about it. He's like, "Look, dude, like we don't have another skate company, like, so you know, you just go do your thing with SSM, and like, but everything was good. There was no drama really between us, but I don't know how it all went down with them, but you know how it goes. Like sometimes the blading industry can be a little cruel in ways, dude.
It could definitely be frustrating, like, you know, working on the back end because, you know, you do a lot of work and you don't really get compensated for the work a lot of the time.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a very hard grind, dude.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
how was the transition leaving Rems to Nim?
At first, it was hard for me, dude. Yeah, like I was so used to skating those Rems for a long time, and I loved them, dude. I was skating it was the Frankie ones. Those were like so. I loved those skates, dude.
Style?
Yeah, I loved those skates. So it was a little weird transition, but like after a while, I loved those blades.
They're great blades.
Yeah,
I love
the
those
sole
blades.
plates.
They were fast.
They were
solid.
solid.
That's the only thing I remember about
like,
those skates. They were just fast
and they were super solid
and
too,
light
dude.
too.
Yeah,
like,
light,
like,
solid. The sole plates were really sick, which is what like made them like awesome. So
yeah. What made you go to Colorado out of nowhere? Like everyone that knows you knows
I
you're
didn't even
like
know that.
a super Florida dude, like you, like, you know. And so when we heard you were going to Denver for a while, I was like, oh, what is he doing over there?
Yeah, well,
what motivated that?
So like, I think it was when I was just turning 30. Colorado's always been like, I'm in, like, everyone knows that I'm from Florida or whatever, but like I've always loved the mountains and like and you can't do any of that stuff here, dude. It's like it's just flat and like hot. So I just I had gotten out of like a long relationship, and I was just like, I was free to do basically like whatever I wanted, and I saved some money, and I was just like, I'm just gonna go do it for a year. Just packed my car up and just took off to Colorado.
By yourself?
Sick.
Yeah, by myself, dude. Just packed my car up. Didn't really know when I was gonna leave, and then.
Did you have a job lined up or?
I did. My buddy started a roofing company out there, so I didn't really like. Honestly, I saved money, so I was like kind of lived off my savings, and then did like some roofing. But then most of the time, I was spending like just driving around, hiking, shooting photos in the mountains and stuff.
Sick.
So it was good for me, dude. It like I needed to get out of Florida for a little bit, especially after like the skating stuff ended. Like when SSM died, it's like kind of hard. We've been talking about it a little bit, like finding your purpose after like you spend so much of your life putting like, you know, we were putting everything into it, dude.
Totally.
Like that was the one track mind, like blading.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get into it and you realize like there's not an end game to this.
Yeah.
Like it gets to a point and then you're done. Like, and you don't think that when you're coming up. And like, so it's a weird transition. I'm not saying that to like not motivate people to get in the game, but you just have to be aware of like, they'll get to that point. Like when SSM died, and like I got the call from Shima, and it was just like, dude, like we're shutting down. Yeah. And I was just like, it was like, you know.
Did you have any idea that was happening?
I mean, I had some sort of ideas, but like, you know, because things were getting a little rough, like pay cuts were happening, and so it started to see, and you dealt with all that stuff too, man. Yeah. Like it was hard towards the end, and then it just couldn't cut it anymore, and it sucks because like we had a rad crew, dude, and we were always doing cool stuff, but
it was totally like
when the industry is the way it is, dude, it's hard, and like
totally,
it's completely understandable when companies go under.
Yeah.
Even no matter how unfortunate it is,
and
if it's like some random person or someone like Shima or like a legend behind it.
And it was like the end of a very long period of like dedicating so much into something, and then realizing like, okay, I'm starting now from square one, and that's kind of like where you have to, all right, what am I gonna do? And like, so that was more for me. Like I was like free on many aspects, like out of that relationship. Then. You know, the skating thing kind of went away, and like I still did it for myself, whatever, and like that's what I've been doing the past couple of years. But after that, it wasn't a professional thing anymore. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna move to Colorado. I'm gonna do like what I want for a little bit. Like didn't have the pressures of any of that. So
how good did that feel though?
It was awesome, dude. It was like a really good time for me, dude. Just going out there and like being by myself for a little bit, because I didn't have like too many. Like I lived in Colorado Springs, not Denver, and like most of the dudes live in Denver.
How far out is Colorado Springs from
It's
Denver?
like an hour.
It's an hour? Okay.
So I would go up to Denver and see like Spira and stuff, but most of the time I was like by myself. But it was good for me because, you know, like here there's tons of people hanging out all the time, and like you get caught. Sometimes you get caught up in that, and then don't really like give yourself time to like go. And like I was in the mountains like all the time by myself, like shooting photos, doing something that I love to do. So it was like, it was just good for me coming from the blading thing, and like it was like a healing kind of experience for me more than anything. Like.
That makes sense, man. Like you need that like time, especially like when, like you said, like dedicate so much of like your everything to like wanting to make something happen and believing in it. Yeah. And then having it like not work out, you just need to like
and then it's
separate
just, like,
yourself
wiped away.
for a while. Yeah. Just totally.
And that's why like people will still like ask me like on Instagram or Facebook, be like, dude, do you still skate? Or like, and I'm like, yeah, I do. Like, but no one obviously sees anymore like as much stuff as we used to put out, obviously, because there's not sponsors like
asking you to
push it
out every week.
Yeah, exactly. So now like I'm kind of like gonna make a little jump back in and hopefully make a little bit more of a mark again, but we'll see what happens. But being here has been super motivating, dude. Like seeing everybody, and like it helps you like remember why you're doing it in the first place. And it wasn't to like be pro, and that's what you think when you're coming up, but now it's more like, this is a family, dude. Like I get to see like people I haven't seen like you even in years, but it's like it's been a day, dude.
It's like a fraternal
like
thing,
it's crazy.
It's a long day.
Yeah. So that's why blading is all worth it, dude, because of those, for me at least. Like and like putting out this part, it's been like a couple years since I put out a part, so
yeah, man, I was shocked. I heard about it from Austin Barrett, and he was like, dude, it's really sick. And then I saw it. So everyone who's watching this, if you haven't bought it yet,
it might be out by the time.
Yeah, it should be out by that. It should be out. I'll probably release it like right around the same time as this to promote it.
Was it filmed in Florida, or is it a mix of Florida
and Colorado?
It was filmed in
so originally originally we were gonna make a video, and it was gonna be me, Sammy, Maddie, and Brian Weiss. And we like flew to Atlanta a couple times to meet up with each other, film out there. Like Sammy, Maddie, and I went to South America and filmed down there. So like,
oh, you have a bunch of shit in there. Then.
Yeah. So Maddie ended up stacking tons, dude. Which I'm sure people already saw that section I just put out of him recently, and he absolutely crushed. So we used that was footage at the same time as we were filming, and then, you know, Sammy stacked stuff. And then Brian stacked stuff, but he ended up needing it for feet too because he got hurt. So like the video kind of fell apart. And so now we're kind of just like, I'm taking that footage that was going to be used for that video and making the part out of it. So
sick.